Hello, good morning. I'm his Caddy Mask. We're gonna cast a Teen Girl Squad replay. I literally just got up. Normally I would wait a little bit until the coffee has begun to be processed, but I don't really got the time. If you aren't intimately familiar with my shenanigans in the last couple of months, things have been really fucking bad. Like really bad. I'm gonna be heading down to the hospital in a couple hours to see not one but maybe two individuals. One of which is my grandmother, and the another of which is another related person. Well, tangentially related anyways. The long story short is shit's really bad. I want to get this done before I go down, otherwise I'm probably not going to feel like doing it. So, I don't know what the hell I'm looking at over here. But, wow, Mame Blackhand. That is such a crazy creative name. Is down in all my water. I got some coffee. So let's begin. This is a relatively short TGS game, actually, even though it is very even teams. So there's probably a lot I could have talked about with this map, but I don't remember any of it. So obviously this is going to be once again quite a difference between what I last casted and then now. I have not casted this for a while. A lot of the games I could have casted look a lot like this one. They almost all of them within, like, that I can remember within the last some months, basically look almost identical to this one. Sometimes the teams are uneven, and in most cases that doesn't really matter. The general anatomy of the game looks a lot like this one. So this is a great replay to kind of like pin down where the map state has been for a while. I can tell my eyes are gonna bother me, so where the fuck? Right, my other tier 2s are missing. I'm gonna have to use these old yellow drops that may or may not sting like a motherfucker. My eyes get very dry. As right now, it is actually not that humid, but we haven't seen any snow. And I do get eye ulcers now. But thankfully, that doesn't seem the case because it's not stinging like a motherfucker. Fantastic. So, let's take a look at the teams and then I'll go into talking about the map. So we've got, we did play one game before this and it crashed. But I'll talk about that game in a moment. So we got Higgs playing as the Turin Cat Dan. He's gonna go pretty much a support build. We've got Qtem Menace, who is going to pick the Lady Blaumiax, and is a melee int hero with agility. I don't know about that either, but I can't remember what he's going to do. I think it's mostly support. We got, this is Vetrius, the man of the hour. He's actually been co-oping a really shitty kind of a spin-off of Divinity called Baldur's Gate 3 with HKS. So if you've been watching HKS's stream, you've been watching all kinds of cringe dialogue, crazy bugs, and other fun stuff. It's actually quite entertaining. You know, during the few periods the game isn't a total slog anyways. But he will be going support in this game. And he's actually going to kind of glue to my ass for a good chunk of it. So he will be picking, I think it's this dude or another. I'm not sure which character. No, it's this guy. They look kind of the same. I actually get confused a lot during this game because this dude here has the same totem thing on his back the Turn Chief Den does. He is smaller, so if you actually like take a second to look at him, it's obviously different. But I didn't realize that for like half the game, and even then, it took me a while to memorize what the player colors were. So there's many times I thought HKS was nearby and I had Vampiric Aura, and it was actually him. But he takes some healing ability, so it's not a super big deal for me to make that mistake. So on the opposing team, we have Ricky Honajase, or Honiasi, Horse Jassy. He is French. Very, very French. That much hasn't changed. We have Kel'Thuzad in all lowercase. This is not the same Kel'Thuzad as the one that was in God, those recordings like almost 10 years old. I don't know if that guy was even named Kel'Thuzad at that point. He had just short formed his name to KT, and then people called him Katie, so he became Katie. No, not the same person. Since that was 10 years ago, obviously that was not this dude. Pretty sure this dude's a teen. We've got Thyloli. We've got Mr. Bug. 9898 has not fixed his name. It's not 6969. SMH my head. But he is here. He is Buggy. We played some Otaku Defense, which is a really poorly balanced map. That's all based on RNG after the fact. It was a real hoot. Every time we play this map, something is different with the heroes. He has changed Jaina's hair and turned her into an old lady. We got someone driving down the highway, just got his foot on his horn, doobie up his nose, taking a big huff. So before I begin, there was actually a specific part of the map I wanted to look at because I didn't really get a good look, which is over here. We've got a Heartseeker crossbow. The last game that did not crash, the enemy team had a well, Q was out here with Big Bad Voodoo and was just killing everything with invulnerable units, summons. I don't know if these guys like drop their shit or what, but I don't know. You tell me. Supposedly there was a shop over here, and I tried to go over here, and it just didn't work. I like this portrait. I mean, at least he has a portrait, unlike half of the new things that were added. There is no shop over here? Well, that was it. These are all neutral hostile. Some of these heroes do an absolutely disgusting amount of damage. We might see that in this game, I'm not sure. So, there is so many changes to the map just between each version that I couldn't even begin to possibly recount them all. It is a little more balanced than it was, but some of the same sore spots are still there, which we're going to be talking about. Holy shit, it is already 8:43, and this is an hour game, so we can't really spend too long. A lot of games do not end in an hour. They're not nearly as decisive as this one. There's a few reasons for that. There are definitely some things that the losing team could have definitely done a lot better than they did. But it is going to highlight some of the main pains that the map has not managed to shake off. Almost every single creep camp gets changed every single version. So we don't seem to have any turtles anymore. Instead, we have some really ugly looking kit bashes. This is like the Hive Workshop special. I think Vetrius is like trying to handpick the best of the best, but the portrait isn't even using the same colors. XD. HKS went through a fairly major revision. fairly major revision of the skill system. I think he rebuilt the whole fucking thing using what do they use now? .net or something like that. And there was a lot of performance problems that initially came as a result of that, because Warcraft 3 is pretty much undocumented and nobody really knows how it works. And it turns out most of it doesn't work. These Hydras are also using the wrong models for their avatars. What's much more likely is who ported them didn't even configure an avatar for them. There was a lot in the last major game we played. There was a lot of shit that had the no collision set up again. One of them was a hero. It was the Akuma. Apparently, Vetri has figured out a cheap way to just basically attach something to it that has collision, because that's pretty cool. I don't think the hero's even in here anymore. All right, let's begin. We'll talk a little bit about the heroes in just a moment. So Ricky is French. He is going to play a pissing build. We have Mr. Bug, who's going to do kind of what he did in the previous game, which is summons. So summons actually scale on your stats now. That's one of the things you can do with the new changes that HKS did to the spell system. When he first added it, it was hilariously overpowered. It turned water elementals into machine guns that could kill just about everything in the map within a second or two without that much effort in your stats. I can tell my eyes are going to continue to bother me. Fucking fantastic. We have Thyloli. Thyloli has gotten Doomguard in almost every single game he's played for some months now. And then we have Keldazad, who's going to build kind of for melee, but go more or less as a support build slash tank build with Divine Shield and some other shit. I'm gonna BRB. Fantastic. I love still. I still have a lot of problems where I wake up, my throat is full of phlegm, I can barely breathe. From pneumonia back in 2013. My grandmother, currently in the hospital with pneumonia that she brought back from rehab after having a stroke. Yeah, so that's one of the timelines that's been going on. Believe it or not, that is actually not the most severe of the things that's happening. So, that's where I'm going today, getting an update. Oh, so I put some eye drops so that we're not yellow into my eyes. So I picked Dumb Lord Kazakh, very dumb, 5 intelligence. All he can really do is constantly spam whenever you fly up and down inside of blasted lands on your flying mount, like Mucky, causing the entire zone to bitch at you in general chat, not that that's gonna stop you. This hero is insanely efficient because he has 5 intelligence, because it saves you the money on having to trade your book smarts for muscles. So now I'm going to talk about the last game very briefly here. So Vetrius, I think, because HKS has been kind of like not doing anything with the spells at all other than the internals. Vetrius tried to turn Drunken Brawler into a special, but when you take it, it takes this slot of a normal skill still, and then I couldn't take a Loon's Grace, which was also a special that now costs 10 lumber for some reason. Kind of a null issue because of how much free lumber you get in the map now, because so many minions now drop lumber, which is just crazy. And I forgot how hard it is to see what's going on the map in the full reveal here. So they were able to clear these really easily in the first map, but these guys are way stronger now. Of course, the fortified armor on these always made them really strong, but this guy has Avatar, which may or may not make him spell immune. It didn't go as well for them in this game as it did the initial game. In the initial game, I took Drunken Brawler and discovered I could level it. Now, special skills all level automatically. They don't have levels to them. So I'm gonna switch over to my character and I think we won't see any notices still, but there's the beast tamers here are bugged. They will not attack you when you're up close to them. There's actually a few units in the map that are bugged like that now. I actually think it was an effort by Vetrius to make them kite you, but I think he did so by giving them minimum range, and the AI in this shitty game is too shit to handle that, so they don't even try to kite 9 times out of 10. Unfortunately, with how bad the pathing and the shit is in this game, you can't really do that. So the pissing is more there for spiritual reinforcement at the moment. That ability was buffed a little bit. There is a reason why they're trying to use it. I remember Ricky was mentioning something about, I think maybe chain healing dead units or something. There is some shit that's fucked in the abilities. There's actually several cleaves that kill items still. There's a lot of shit in this that's more fucked than it really should be. I think we don't get any text notices if I have the camera on another player, which is amazing. So our teams are actually pretty even in terms of hero distribution at the moment, although their team overall is going to do more damage. At least until HKS gets a lot of items, because he's gotten pretty much all auras initially, which means he's not going to do really fucking anything. Oh yeah, we tried to do the lobsters and they just fucked him up. The creeps are a little more balanced than they used to be. For the longest time, if you went near the hydras, you would just get one-shotted. They just had some spell that did like 2,500 or more damage to a hero, so for most of the game, you would just get one-shotted by them unless you were a strength hero. So that just made the existing problems that strength heroes have so much worse, because HKS would always pick... You can't see him anymore. He'd always pick the Stitches hero and dump everything into strength, so he would have like 5k, 6k health pretty early into the match. And as a result, they could easily kill the Hydras because he could tank them. And the only other way that I found that was you were able to clear those is if you could bait them to use that skill on a summon. But then you had to survive long enough to kill them again when they also had something that shredded your armor by like 50 or 60, so even tanking them was still a pain. So again, just raw health really helped a lot for that, so... You can tell I'm gonna have to go AFK again, which is fantastic. My morning routine is stupid. Oh yeah, so you can summon these Dark Rangers, which did not scale before, so they had like 5,000 health and did hundreds and hundreds of damage early on. That part has been fixed, but they pretty much never die. They also summon tons of units. So I guess they're supposed to be to help you to push the lane a little bit, but they're still like mega strong. And it's really the heal that actually throws them over the edge, because it does seem to be almost no mana. Towers are a lot weaker now. They're a lot more in line of where they should be, so the first towers go down pretty quick again. Especially when you summon these and they just never die. The innate regeneration on top of the healing wave is just fucking crazy. I thought, oh, it's gonna die now that their wave is here. No, it's just gonna keep pushing ahead. Although those ghouls might be feeding us money, there's a lot of things that get summoned that give money and they really shouldn't. So he died to a primeval arachnid. I cannot figure out where the fuck my hero is on the map. I think we're just gonna go over here. So I was helping HKS. We had a little bit of a kerfuffle here. I am also mostly passives. I took engineering upgrade, I took dash, I took crit. So I did not take the drunken brawler this time because the other passive that just gives you strength, I thought that that special might be better than the drunken brawler, because drunken brawler, it reads like it's still a normal special ability, and it's supposed to go up to a 6 times crit. But I could level it manually, and I had it at like level 7 or something like that, and it still said it did 3 point something. I was critting for over 1,200 damage with basically no items. So I reckon that the second you started to get anywhere near a full build, you would be doing like 3,000, 4,000 damage a crit. And yeah, with normal critical strike, I'll be doing upwards of 1,500 in this, which is already absolutely fucking batshit insane. Especially with cleave, turning it into magic damage. And I think additional magic damage, if I'm not mistaken. So, I reckon that Drunken Brawler might be even more stupid than that. But it doesn't give you the early game power that the strength bonus does. The raw strength turns out to be king. So as you can see, this guy's stat growth is perfect for this. You don't need agility because you get so much attack speed from items, and the attack speed cap is very, very low as it is. Now, HKS has tried to look into this, but he can't actually apparently figure out where the attack speed cap was. I thought it was in the gameplay constants, but apparently not. So I'm not sure. I forget what needs to be configured for that. As you can see, with regular critical strike, I have no items. I was already critting for just about 300 damage. That is really crazy to have 3k health, critting for almost 300. That's several threes. We're almost at 3 threes. Technically, 9 is 3 threes. Medicine is smiling. It is laggy as all fuck, just like it's always been. It is still buggy, it is still laggy. That's just Warcraft 3. All of Warcraft 3 is like that. So I'm going to come down here and whack these guys, but fortified armor, and yeah, I decide just to kind of ignore them. I'm going to attack these dudes. The mortar teams actually kill one of them. So these guys here give money, and they definitely should not. We're going to hear random voice lines. Victory is near over and 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 over throughout the game, and it drove me actually just fucking crazy. I don't know why, but it was just fucking constant, and it just drove me insane. So I'm gonna sit there and whack these guys. Remember, 2 of them couldn't kill those guys early on. Meanwhile, I comfortably cleared the wave, although they helped me kill a crab. This guy is gonna get Blood Key and Phoenix Ring. So evidently this match does not crash. The first one did, and we have no idea why. Very mysterious, but it's not uncommon to crash. Some of the more experimental changes in this may or may not come with problems, like the trigger internals. Again, completely undocumented. And this shit for brains company still hasn't figured out that they probably should just roll back to a patch that wasn't unstable as fuck, that did not have so many problems with battlenet, that didn't have so many performance problems that never had. But now they gotta double down, so we continue to lag like crazy. It continues to be a problem to try to host a game. The friends list invite and everything related still doesn't work. So on. You can also, very commonly, I would say like at least like 7 times out of 10 for me, when someone tries to host a lobby and invite you, you will not go in. HKS is just instantly murdered. So this Hydra will break and not attack me. So I'm just allowed to tank the rest of them, being ignored by this one yet again. Like I said, a lot of units are buggy in this map now. This is a new problem. I didn't see this before. And it'll just ignore me. I would have died a long time ago, for sure. But I'm gonna die anyways because Team French has arrived. So I get the kill on it. I pick up the Doomhorn. And at the end of the day, a Hydra hatchling kills me. So they don't get anything out of that besides the few extra trash. I also had a lot of money. Like, a lot of money. And they're really struggling to kill these guys. Like, that is with a strength hero. And Thigh Lolly does have a bunch of items. And they still have to run. Oh, Ricky escaped. Ricky actually has a summon that. I don't know if he used it or not. Yeah, they couldn't even kill the little ones. Meanwhile, I walked in and just slapped down the big one. HKS died pretty quick, though. Just because I didn't take that initial attack from the large Hydra. So at this point, I have picked up that skill, the special. It became available. Plus 67 strength right out of the gate is throwing me up to 4,000 health. I do have a couple stats from this, but nothing too noteworthy. And I'm doing like just shy of 200 base damage. The crits are up to 400. I don't know if I picked up Cleave in the first game, but I realized you can just grab an item, and you never need to level up Cleave in this. It's totally unnecessary. So I don't take Cleave this time. I don't need it. Although it would have helped a little bit. I won't get that Cleave item for a while. So I come down here to try to save HKS from himself. I don't even bother taking Vampiric Aura because he has it, and I know I can just pick up an item that doesn't stack with Vampiric Aura anyways. But I'm not quite at the point where I can lifesteal really well with it anyways. So it's mostly, for the time being, just going to be where HKS is, that I just become pretty much immortal. So again, summons now, their attack speed, I believe their damage and their health all scales based on your stats. In addition to the shop. Now, where the fuck was that? Duck Wizard? Duck Wizard? Duck Wizard? Is this Raphael? So I came down here to counter push this dude while they were over here. I didn't need to be there, but I didn't want him going up here and finishing this tower if I could stop it, at least for the time being. Ricky Hunt and JASS will appear. It's getting hard for me to breathe again. Fantastic. In fact, we're gonna pause right here because this is where things get kind of funny. Today has been a pleasant morning. The power went out again, evidently, when I was asleep because everything was fucking off and this was all ready to go, so that was annoying. And now this. So I could probably like 3-shot Ricky, and Kel'Thuzad isn't a problem for me at all. I saw that they were coming over here. I do actually ping down here, but they're fighting and not really paying attention, so they don't come and help. I just kind of ignore Kel'Thuzad because he's fucking harmless. Ricky is just instantly murdered. There is a walrus that is assisting me a little bit here. I'm gonna chase this guy down here. Again, I'm probably not gonna be able, I don't have any chasing power whatsoever. He does do some damage in AoE, but it's not really an issue with my innate health regeneration. So I'm gonna shove this lane down here. Probably kill this tower. I can kind of ignore the damage. He almost dies. Apparently Divine Shield actually has a pretty short cooldown. Actually, the Doom Guard scares me more than he does because it has a lot of health and can do a reasonable amount of damage. I took a whack at it and I'm like, oh, right, this dude's fat. Thyaloli arrived again. He's also a strength hero. He actually has some items. He also has fucking Frost Nova, so I'm probably not gonna run away from him. My team didn't come over, so I just decided just to fight it down. I'm gonna die, but Thyaloli dies immediately afterwards. So it took 3 of them to kill me in the end. Meanwhile, the rest of my team just continues to clear. Mr. Bug died somewhere. Got squished somewhere. I'm not actually sure where. So that tower did go down. Keep in mind, I was considering if I should like go back and shop or not, because as you can see, I had enough money to get the cleave item. If I did have that item, I would have just straight up killed all of them. Because at that point, I would have been killing any of the minions. The stat increase would have been crazy. The cleave would have been nuts. Like, I would have probably killed the Doom Guard. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. That was without even having me spent my money. I had nothing besides that horn I got off the Hydra. So actually, apparently, Kel'Thuzad took evasion. Wow, really? It's still bad. Good lord. Ugh. Meanwhile, as I level up and hit those special thresholds, the strength increase continues to be insane. Again, the stat growth on this hero very efficient, but it does just save me a little bit of money in the end. I have no idea where that healing wave went. It was nowhere useful. So we're gonna kill this guy here fairly easily. He does have another special ability that does a lot of damage to heroes, but we are so fat it just does not matter. So this is gonna result in probably a fairly significant level difference. Level 10. And let's see, when this guy dies, HKS is already level 13, and so is Vetrius. And I think I just hit level 13 because I was dead for a moment. Yeah, so almost level 14 now. Very significant difference, and this, I think, was a drop. So I was gonna go shop, and HKS, I think, takes the cleave item. So I don't get that right away. That's the reason why I don't have that for a while. I ended up spending my money on other items. So level 14 on Vetrius. Very, very significant experience disadvantage. Ricky was doing some creeping, but he's only level 11 right now. And keep in mind, they were creeping without me. They were perfectly comfortable doing everything without me. They might have struggled a little bit with the Ice Rog, but the Phoenix, I think, does bonus damage to it, so the struggle might have been like, oh, it takes them a little bit longer, right? Although they're able to hold this push, they're stuck on the defensive for a while. These Hydras were never finished off. So, like I said, this is the anatomy that the game conventionally goes in. So I picked up a one of the newer items that gives attack speed, damage, strength, and agility. A head barrel, a cat paw, which the cat paw is very strong now. And HKS ends up giving me the Nether Strand longbow. The item I would have picked up if I had gone shop at that time, if I'd been able to, was it doesn't give any stats, but it does give damage, even more regeneration. It gives pillage. I have no idea what that does. I assume it gives gold like the regular one. But the cleave is really the important part, because 125 is, I'm assuming, bonus damage. As an idea of how just insane this is, we just face tank Krabnar here. HKS has to go back a little bit. When we did this in the first game, HKS was the one who had like 6,000 health, but he's itemized or talented a little differently in this. It doesn't really matter. We're able to easily kill him. So they're gonna come down here. They're chasing Vetrius. Vetrius is definitely gone for a pure support at this time. They're gonna come down here, and I'm gonna try to fight, I think. No, I followed them down here, brought them to my team so that they would help me for once. We really just wanted Ricky, because he is French. HKS is gonna possibly die here because he doesn't have any health. Remember, we just two-manned Krabnar before this, and they were off trying to kill what are, I think, some of the strongest creeps in the map. HKS is gonna die here. Meanwhile, we're chasing Ricky. Just waiting for him to get hooked on the minions, just like so. No problem. Gonna come down here. Even without any health at all, he doesn't have a chance against us just because of the healing abilities. But I mean, he does actually have that item, so he's got a little bit of restoration. And through the lag, he dies miserably. At this stage, I can probably 1v3 them straight up, if not 1v4 them. And it's only going to get worse from this point. I am almost 7,000 health. I can put another item in this slot, and then I can look to replace the Doomhorn. And at that point, I would look to optimizing the build a little bit. Thyaloli has arrived. There is a burst of damage. The camera gets yanked over there by Ricky reviving. Thyaloli is immediately going to disengage. He does have one of those speed runes. Those speed runes last a very long time. A very, very, very long time. I think he might have picked it up from the this creep camp. And it lasts a while. It lasts a very, very long time.
Our allies' town is under siege.
So not much damage has been done to either base at this point. It's still pretty early in the map. But we have the crab in mid lane, and I think we're going to push south lane, just me and Vetrius. At this point, Vetrius is going to spend a fair amount of time kind of just following one of us around. Just playing the support role. He does have some mana regeneration, but his item build is still pretty weak. When we crashed, it was when I went over here. I just was going to see if it was going to crash again, but nope. I have 152 strength bonus. I'm going to come over here with the Ice Frog. He does very high siege damage. So I'm kind of just going to let him tank. And I didn't think we'd get a lot of damage done in here, but Thyaloli is going to come down and try to just face tank us for a while. I'm still thinking the towers are going to insta-give me despite those stats, but they follow us out. And I tries to focus on Vetrius, so I just kill him. Ricky ended up taking mana shields. I don't have the cleave item. Otherwise, I could actually wipe out this wave within like just a couple seconds. But since I don't have the cleave, I'm kind of stuck just manually whacking them. Vetrius' mana is pretty low here, which he will mention at one point. There it is. Hey, look, we didn't get double messages. Maybe because he didn't send it to all chat. Ricky's heal doesn't really do that much, and by reviving them, he's basically just going to give me more money. So I'm actually very content just chilling out over here because I am making a absolutely disgusting amount of money killing the constant revives and shit that come out of their base. And I just keep the lane shoved. I see Bug over here, and I haven't really encountered him in the map, so I'm not really sure what he does at this point. So I think, okay, I guess we'll go back. So he's gonna go back to base. I'm gonna go down here and kill these guys.
We're under attack.
He's gonna go north. I'm not actually sure where HKS is. Oh, he's down here still, trying to kill these guys. Actually, he has almost killed these guys. This is kind of... I remember a game prior when we had like a mixed team, and we couldn't even kill these very easily, or like within like mid-late game. I don't know. I don't think they got nerfed. I think this is just how busted strength heroes and so on really. I mean, keep in mind the Phoenix has like no upgrades on it from the upgrade shop. I don't think it's. I don't even bother build that. I actually forgot that even existed in this map. To think I could have become way stronger than I already was. I had totally forgotten that. But yeah, the shop has upgrades for summons, plus the armor and strength, armor and damage of the hero. So I could have built that, and I could have become even stronger, which is really crazy. So I did get chased by their team out here when I was in there, and Thyaloli chased me very hard. I just will turn around at this point when he catches up with Frostnova, because I know I can't really outrun him. But the rest of his team didn't follow. So I just turned around and killed him, straight up, even though I had very little health. Meanwhile, HKS is killing these dudes now. Keep in mind, again, he is still mostly auras. He never took that strength bonus passive. He's just all auras. So his damage is not really that great, but The Phoenix is slowly chiseling them down, and he's just been kind of like kiting them. I wondered what he was doing most of the map, and apparently that's what he was doing. From what little I've seen of those guys, they're actually not really that great at pushing. So... KD actually doesn't have too bad of an item build. It looks like he pretty much took what I wanted to take. He's got the head brawl, the cat paw. The problem is that his skills and stuff like that aren't even remotely comparable. And I don't think he's gonna optimize his stats either. He may not be aware that you can do that. So at this point, I was looking to possibly go either to the cleave item or straight to the lifesteal item, because I think I was filthy. Yeah, I was going straight to the lifesteal item. Look at this. I've already got 15,044 lumber, and a lot of that is just from the waves. At this point, Drunken Brawler would be critting for absolutely monstrous amounts. Especially if it does actually go up to 6 times. I think it has like a cooldown behind it, but that kind of doesn't really matter. The burst damage will still kill almost anyone on their team except for Thyaloli. So at this point, I think am I getting the cleave item? No, I think I'm going straight to the lifesteal item. Yeah, there it is. So the cleave item is my next major power spike. After that, I would probably replace another strand longbow. With the whatever the spear was from that one. Otherwise, I think if these guys drop their items, you would want to take something from here like this. This is not bad. This is obviously really good, but this is ranged. I still think that's probably a really good item, even on a strength hero, because of the sheer amount of stats it has. Otherwise, this might be a good one. So they come down here, they stick their head out here. No, we don't really have chasing power. So he also has engineering grade, so off we go. Meanwhile, the Q's various animals are just killing everything. The upgrades are actually relatively even, all things considered. Vetrius has been trying to banish him and body block him, but one of the times we would have actually been able to body block someone, the bear was used, and the bear actually has like no collision. So he just slipped right through the bear. It was the thinnest bear I'd ever seen. So they do have a couple of minions up here, but they're not going to really pose a threat to us at this point. With HKS's lifesteal aura, I don't benefit from that because of the item now. And again, he doesn't really do a lot of damage. He doesn't even have the strength special. But he does tank for me, so he's got a little bit more armor. He does have some attack speed from the aura and command aura, which is one of the reasons why my crits are not doing 1500 at this point. Looks like there was even a 3000 in there. I don't know what that was, but kind of crazy. I wonder if this 20% crit applies to regular crit damage. That would actually make the another strand longbow really strong. I don't know, I saw what looked like a 3000 in there. So he ends up taking mirror image, which the idea is there, but it doesn't really help that much. He's gonna try to slow this down, but he can't. There's nothing he can do at this point. The game is already decided. So Thyaloli was up here, I think. Yep, there he is. He's doesn't really have that many minions. He's not really managing to do that much. And at this point, we're so disgusting rich. losing the buildings doesn't matter anyways. So at this point, this is kind of how a lot of this happens in a lot of these games. Strength heroes end up inside your base and there's just nothing you can do about it. They make an absolutely massive amount of money. You're permanently pushed. You start losing buildings. TGS is probably going to die here. Mostly because he lets himself die. He just doesn't even care. However, I'm still going to get down this Griffin Aviary, so him dying ultimately doesn't really matter that much. There is nobody on their team that can even try to fight me at this stage. Thyloli, the best thing that Thyloli gets out of this is actually going to be the Hydras. He's quite able to tank them at this point. He started to pick up some items, but he doesn't do any damage. I will trade out what little bit of intelligence I've gotten for more strength. Now pushing towards 9,000. He's laughing about us chasing him. Well, whatever is happening to our top, but they didn't do anything. What's he laughing about? Nothing happened. They didn't do anything. Whoop-de-doo, one of the towers is on fire. That hardly matters. I mean, if Vetrius was playing the game, he could have repaired it. But that doesn't even matter. I think the only thing to laugh about at this point is the fact that they're fucked. Oh yeah, and especially with Vetrius healing me, there's nothing they can do at this point. I don't have cleave, so I'm just gonna sit here and auto attack and just ignore the heroes and just mow through the minions. There was another thing that kind of looked like it said 3,000 there. Yeah, is it really critting for 3,200 off of the Nether Strang, critting on a crit? I wonder if that's what's happening. And someone has Big Bad Voodoo here, but oh, it is Q. If it was a little bit more forward, we could have done quite a bit with that, but to actually go inside the base here, Mr. Bug just dies instantly. I'm still a little scared about tanking under the towers because I'm used to the towers doing so much fucking damage. But these towers are a lot more tame than they used to be. The main thing is you just can't lifesteal off of them. So I kill the channeling towers, I take some money off of these guys. There's some really big numbers showing up. We've got some pretty tough creeps with us. Ricky is gonna come over here and piss aggressively in our general direction. Again, the heals don't offer anything at all. I don't think they heal the buildings. The Banish may or may not have actually saved Ricky there. One whack is like all of Ricky's mana. They're getting cooked. So these guys come down here. There is some anti-air towers there. He does not do enough damage to kill the buildings very quickly, but he does have mirror image. Looks like he may have picked up the strength. Yeah, he may have picked up the strength, so he has some health, 6,400. I'm gonna kill a couple peasants and some towers over here. Ricky can do very little. Now, what's gonna happen here is, you see, I start taking a lot of damage. Initially, I thought this might have been Mr. Bug, but there's something over here that does a crazy amount, and maybe all the towers were focusing on me because they all do like 600 something apiece. But I think that there's actually like special targeted abilities on some of those towers that also do a lot of damage. Because you see, I would start taking quite a lot, and I knew it wasn't from Ricky, and Mr. Bug didn't have a lot of shit up at that point. Plus, his summons were not really upgraded. I don't think he ever bought... Oh yeah, he did. He did right here. Okay, so I'll check their upgrades next time we see them. But I don't remember him upgrading them. As you can see, even though I don't have cleave, I'm quite able to tank all this shit, and Ricky. And even when he's out of mana, it doesn't matter. I'm just basically farming at this point. This is the most efficient farm for me. Ah, What? He's got 6 upgrades. I think he must have started upgrading after I looked at them. He does not have much in the way of stats, though. But the little turrets that he makes actually do some damage. Q was murdered. There's now 3 people over here, but with Vetrius's Tranquility, they don't stand a chance. The stun is preventing Thyloli from getting any returns. I'm just kind of mowing through everything. Ricky is just instantly murdered. So it looks like, yeah, the little turrets are not doing that much. I'm pretty sure it's these towers. Maybe this one? I don't know. I think some of the towers have specials. So I back out of the towers when I start taking damage and just start life stealing again. Keep in mind, I have almost 9,000 HP. When I am this low on health, I am more around the health of the other people in the map. But with the sustain, so long as I'm actively attacking, the effective health is actually extremely high. Tranquility is back up, and so it continues. Again, making a ton of money. These guys have had free reign down in the bottom of the map for a while, and they're not accomplishing anything at all. It's actually a complete waste of time for them to be here at the moment. Every now and then they kill Q or something, but... we're just killing their production buildings. Doing some pretty heavy damage to these internal structures. They never got back the buildings on bottom. Although they've been pushing bottom, so that isn't really an issue at the moment. They do kill some of the creeps down here, I think. So the upgrades are relatively even, because I have spent more time in their base at this stage than I have spent pretty much anywhere else on the map. I'm gonna go back. At that point I had deduced I definitely needed Cleave to do more shenanigans. Looks like it was actually us that took a bunch of those creeps. So, he's just gonna leave. So they did nothing down here. They killed one tower. They killed some of Vetrius's tower. With this one, I'm not sure though. Is it dead? No, it's invincible. Big Bad Voodoo applies to the... what in the fuck? Why did it make the health disappear? That was kind of weird. So, Manic Furbogs are up here. I guess HKS has just been kind of creeping the entire game. He's got 2 gilded armor. He's got a cat's paw. That offsets the attack speed reduction. He's got an amount of armor. He's just full beef. Unbelievably beefy. I mean, I don't think he didn't take the strength passive. I'm not sure actually what he took for his passive. I actually took Infernal, but between the lag and the casting delay, it's pretty hard to actually hit people with it. This is the attempted body block. He just he just slips right past the bear. He might still die though. I'm not sure. Nope. He also has a lot of health. HKS just like suicided their base underneath all the towers and killed himself. I'm not really sure what he was doing. So this dude has lifesteal. You would think he would be scary at this point. He's not. He's harmless. Their entire team is harmless to me anyways. Unless, the one way I would die is if I tanked someone under here. Because of the anti-hero shit on these towers and the fact they do a fair amount of damage. That's pretty much the only way I can die at the moment. So at this stage, I'm going to replace the Legion Doomhorn with the item with Cleave. I'm actually not sure you'd want to replace another Strand Longbow. If that's causing the crits to crit and do 3,000 plus damage, maybe you wouldn't replace that. You might replace Whiplash with something. Maybe. Or the Head Barrel. Something with more strength on it, perhaps. But at this point, things are completely off the rails. Completely fucked. Like, if we had a unified push, we actually probably would have ended the game already. Everyone's kind of just doing their own thing. But it is completely beyond the point of no return. I mean, I guess that the strength heroes on their team could adjust their builds, optimize their stats a little bit. But they don't do that, so it's absolutely unwinnable for them. I don't even, like, half the time I don't even look at the heroes in this. Who's going for lard? I had no idea what he was talking about. So, the cleave damage is crazy. In part because of the radius. Yeah. I did over 1,700 damage to him from a fair distance away, just on cleave. You just... Like I said, at this point I stopped even really paying attention to heroes because the cleave, I'm pretty sure does more damage to them than the actual base attack does. Ricky took a glancing hit from the cleave here. And with engineering upgrade, I may not be able to chase people down that well, but it's all the movement speed I need, really. Because I think I'm at the move speed cap. So with Krabnar, we should be able to take down quite a few of the structures here. They do have a lot of health and a lot of armor. And we don't lifesteal off of them, but once these inner towers go down, it's kind of silly. The Furbolgs actually do pretty good against the towers. He's already almost dead. I take a lot of damage from the towers. So I back out. I was like, huh, where'd all my health go? It's okay, Vetrius says Tranquility. Just wait for the creeps to come in so they can tank a little bit. Krabnar is still quite healthy. Thanks for the camera. Krabnar is actually gaining health. Mr. Bug's got some towers here. There's dead crabs in the air everywhere. I got banished. You see, I take a lot of damage. I take a lot. I just about almost died from full HP. I have no idea what that was. It could have been some cleave, but his damage is nothing compared to mine, so I'm not really sure if that was it. Imagine if he was doing that much damage with cleave and as opposed to the base attack. I mean, I can't believe it, but that was happening before with the towers too. So at that point I was like, I probably don't want to go in there without a bunch of minions just because the towers are doing so much. HKS is down here with the other shit. Oh, there's the double messages! We weren't getting it before, but now we are. Amazing. HKS's damage is now quite high. That lolly is erased somewhere. Alright, he was in top lane again. They've been in top lane for a while, and they're still a long distance from making any headway up there. HKS is just face tanking everything here. I guess it's not these towers that are doing... Maybe it's these that are doing damage? I'm not really sure. Could be the castle, maybe. So laggy. HKS is not taking any damage at all. I'm really confused. He's probably still gonna die here, but... Oh, maybe not. There we go. Little turrets killed him. So, Vetrius is going to send me his money at some point, which Ricky actually has a lot of money. Ricky is sitting on 22k. He could have spent that money on something. HKS is 10k. Yeah, Vetrius already sent me his money. Mr. Bug is 12. Kelazad is 12. I have 58. Q has 7. Q is actually really rich too. So everybody is sitting on a lot of money, but I think the main difference is that the other people, other than maybe Kelazad's got, these two have a fair amount of kills, but most of them have probably been banking money for quite a while. I was gonna go kill the Erdl. It turns out somebody had already gone by and wiped their ass with them. I guess HKS never bothered to kill these dudes. I think these dudes are a little bit better at pushing than the fuzzy dudes. But these guys do seem to be decent at killing the buildings. Especially if you give them some auras. And increase that base damage. So at this point, it's gonna get a lot stupider. I am going to sell the Nether Strand longbow and I'm going to buy lard. Lard. It's 10,000 health. So I lose some stats from the bow and possibly the big crits. And in exchange, I just become immortal. I also erase Bug from existence. So, especially with Vetrius with me, like, there's no one in the map that threatens us. Kelazad's gonna attempt to push down here, I guess. But he's dealing with all the upgraded minions that are gonna slow him down. His crits off of his images, I don't know if they do any damage. Did he go back? He must have gone back. Yeah, they all went back. They make some performative attempt to try to stop this push, but they're not really going to. Let's see if I take a crazy amount of damage again. There's some points I would just take a huge amount. But there's a lot of other, I was summoning the Infernals here. They don't have any upgrades, but they do siege damage, so I figured, hey, they'll take some heat off of me possibly, and maybe I won't get spiked for a ton of damage, but I was still very wary of it because I would get hit for what felt like 7,000 damage out of nowhere. But it doesn't seem to be happening now. The Erdl might have taken some of it. You know, Ricky is French. He's been pissing his heart out the whole game. It does not heal the Primal Pandaren. I'm not sure it's really doing anything. Thyloli is erased. Bug's gonna go back. I queued up an Infernal, and he walked into it and killed himself. That was... he was not in vision when that happened. I just killed him out of nowhere. I just somehow felt he was gonna come back with 1 health. It was just something instinctive. I haven't killed someone with the impact from that for a long time. There's a lot of money over here. I guess Ricky really doesn't need money. I'm still very wary of the crazy damage I was taking from these towers. I didn't understand where that damage was coming from, so I'm waiting for our minions to catch up. And then I discovered there was a tower over here. Dude, I'm not convinced that it's healing anything. Is it healing the minions but not the I don't fucking know, dude. Resurrect just makes us more money. HKS comes up and just collects his Ricky dollars. Meanwhile, anyone who even tries to go near me just gets killed. Like, there's not a chance. I'm just being extra cautious because of the crazy damage I was taking from the towers, but I'm not taking that anymore, so I'm not really sure what it was. It was like some active ability they had or whatever. I mean, I am still losing health. I've lost like 4,000 health here. Plus, even with all this shit, we've only just started getting demolish upgrades, so we're not exactly blitzing everything down as much as I would have liked at this point. But as you can see, cleave makes quite a big difference. That's just from the item too. There's a few ways you could optimize this. Again, I could have been taking the upgrades, and it would have been more ridiculous. Some seals have arrived. They do not seem to have an attack. I think Ricky was saying they had an auto-cast ability that wasn't defaulted to on or something. But we're not really pushing them much. Actually, they pushed out here a little bit. The Earl's coming up, though. Ricky gets stuck on the Infernal and dies. Mr. Bug has arrived. I have no mana. So, I decided to go top. I did ping up here, but I don't think Vitreous follows me. I think he was too alarmed by the seals. They have managed to come inside the bottom lane again. They never rebuilt any of their buildings here, though. God, the upgrade difference is crazy, though. 4-3, and we're in the demolish. While I've been inside their base, HKS has just been clearing out the map. I guess that's what Q's been doing, too, because I didn't really... HKS comes and dies in their base every now and then, but I didn't really see Q on that side of the map at all. So he must have been just PvEing. I think that's what Thyloli has been doing a lot, too. Thyloli has got a bunch of items here, but none of the higher end ones. He's pretty beefy, but that's kind of really about it at the moment. I did note that it took distinctly longer to kill him than the other people, but it ultimately didn't matter that much. Ah, right, instead of cleave, I took spiked carapace. That's why I've got so much armor. Mr. Bug died again. I think maybe the Earl killed him. We had an Imperial Wyvern here. I think that actually stole a Ricky kill because I didn't get it. HKS died. I just sit inside their healing area and just kill them. Shit, this isn't the healing area anymore. This is... I could have actually gone over there and killed their altar of improvements. I was actually looking for their upgrade things, but they were all over here. I could have killed them. So I decided to go kill their Wyvern instead. This shit is tanky as fuck. I do not know what the Infernal is doing. Ricky has returned. Ricky did spend some of his money.
I stand ready.
Q's been doing something?
I stand ready.
I think they try to kill these dudes. Ricky bought a bunch of summons. We actually need some creeps to finish this. I'm just running around just clearing it out so the lanes push. Oh yeah, the Fellhunter could crash the map before, that's right. I forgot what it was, one of its abilities. Cleave damage is so just fucking nuts. So this is what I did not see. A lot of damage. Maybe this is a shop? Oh yeah, their damage is very high. And then they stopped attacking. Oh, big bad voodoo. Apparently very tanky. And it lags. They don't even run! What the fuck? This is cooked. I don't know where I went. I actually might have been killing some creep camps. Just finish the game already! Apparently this guy is very prone to complaining a lot. To be young and emotional again. Alternatively, you could be Ricky. You can be old and emotional. Although, I don't know, Ricky to me feels timeless. His cough hasn't changed over 20-something years. And they're still slapping these dudes. I believe that those spawn as minions.
Our allies' town is under siege.
There should be one. There will be eventually one that shows up. I can't quite chase Ricky up here because this does a lot of damage. An effort was made, I guess. Hey, they took down this tower. Congratulations, dudes. They collected my Ricky dollars. Our push is finally coming over. Yeah, actually closing out the match can be a bit of a pain in the ass. Especially if the remainder of your team is doing PvE. Thought Lily wants to test his luck. He did a small amount of damage. Now that sound, we have the Heartseeker anti-hero over here, which is gaining experience. And does a lot of damage. We also have an Erdl that is missing a chunk of its health. Yeah, I think that Spike Carapace has actually made quite a big difference for defensive stats. Because this dude's item build was a lot stronger than I thought it was. But he just stood no chance against me whatsoever anyways. And apparently was dying to the minions a lot in spite of having lifesteal. So we took our time to make sure the game lasted as long as possible at this point. Killing the extra towers. Just for Kel'Thuzad's sake. Please don't crash. Okay, I wanted to look at the resources. That's not very useful. What the fuck? Why is this fucked? What? Blizzard? You fucking morons. This is wrong. This is just wrong. I handed out 40,000 gold. Yeah, that makes sense, but dude, all of us had a lot more than 906,000 gold. I don't fucking understand what is wrong with this game. Holy shit. I wonder if that's coins only. That's cucked. I had 20 hero kills, followed by HKS, who had 5 hero kills, I think most of which were in the enemy's base. Q actually had 4. Their highest was Kel'Thuzad at 3, followed by... The 2 separate horde actually had quite a lot. Some of those were kill steals. Thaloli had 2. Bug had 1, and Ricky had 0. Vetrius also had 0. Items obtained, 308. And the heroes killed, I was actually higher than most of the NPC factions, which is really crazy. Really, really, really crazy. The resources, I really wanted to look at the resources though. Because I was pretty sure that I probably had like double the resources of anybody else. And that was without any trading. I was just filthy, disgusting rich. The moment I started sitting inside their base, killing all the spawns, that's when we would start seeing huge resource disparity. Because every time the towers summon all those like hippogriffs and shit, the chimeras are worth 140 gold apiece. And I think the hippogriffs are still worth money. The peasants and shit that get summoned are all worth money. Every single one of those summons is worth money, except for a very small handful of them. And when you were sitting on those towers, they just keep spawning them over and over and over again. And then you also start taking money from the rest of the map by killing all the other minions too. And you just start becoming absolutely disgusting rich. Like I said, I'd forgotten about the creep upgrade structure. So I could have just kept becoming stronger. I don't know if that hero gets the armor bonus, but I think he would have it would have pushed upwards to close to 100 armor. My base damage would have been a lot higher, and of course I could have made those infernals a lot stronger as well. If I had gotten infernal earlier and leveled it up earlier, I might have been able to push a little bit harder, but those towers are so tanky, I don't think without upgrades the infernals really do that much against them. I'm still not really sure why I was taking so much damage. I don't think it was from the cleave. It was kind of hard to tell. But there was definitely, when I went in there in the back alone, I would just lose all of my health really fast. That was with the armor and everything. So it felt more like there was spell damage hitting me of some nature. So it definitely could have been like cleave, because the cleave radius is ungodly huge. So I'm kind of disappointed in this, though. This is kind of fucked. Anyways, that's definitely a good look at the map right now. I've been saying that strength heroes and lifesteal need to be toned down for months and months and months. I've been trying to play agility ranged heroes, and they are absolutely worthless. The second you hit like level 6, 10, something around there, you are outscaled so hard by the strength heroes. It is unwinnable. Absolutely unwinnable. Not to mention that the strength heroes can do the creep camps so easily. It's not just, oh, you're fat and you deal crazy damage and attack speed is not an issue whatsoever. It's you have those stats very early in the game. So you make more money, more experience, you push harder, right? Like it catapults itself a lot. As for how you would address that, I would probably consider reducing the amount of health that strength gives you. I would either make those passive abilities unlock very late into the game. I would change the curve of which the stats they give you. So they would give you only a few stats in the lower levels and then more stats towards the end. Itemization is horrendous for agility heroes in general, but especially ranged heroes, you don't benefit from that lifesteal item. You don't benefit from Vampiric Aura. You're going to have a lot less health. Your damage is going to be lower in most cases. And you can't get all of your favorite stats off of one attribute. All you need on the strength hero is strength. That's it. The agility hero needs strength to survive, to tank a little bit. And then you need to have agility for damage. And yeah, you end up needing hybrid stats to survive. Evasion is a terrible mechanic and is definitely not a solution to that. But it didn't help anyways. Kel'Thuzad had evasion and didn't make a damn of a difference. Not to mention, agility heroes are a little bit more slave to their abilities because you basically need to have critical strike. You generally need to have bash. I've tried mixtures of chemical rage and other stuff, and the attack speed, I don't know if it's capping or just not scaling the same way. Whatever it is, it's you very quickly hit a point where you're just not doing anywhere near the damage. And then there's cleave. You don't have cleave on a ranged hero, so you're cooked. I did notice that Otaku defense map did actually put cleave on ranged, and I think it's because all their stuff is triggered. So if you were to keep cleave, you could probably just trigger it and also fix the part where it's bypassing armor in the process. Because, yeah, I probably shouldn't have been able to kill him when he had 1700 health and he was like half a screen distance away from me. That's kind of crazy. I mean, 125% cleave kind of insinuates it's doing bonus damage, which is a little absurd to begin with. Overall, the map is less fucked than it was, which is great. No idea what crashed at one time, but still got a ways to go. I still don't know about the north part of the map, if you can shop items there or what. But apparently those dudes do a lot of damage, but Big Bad Voodoo just trivializes the whole place. So that's kind of interesting. Game still performs like absolute ass. Well, hey, I might actually be able to go have my shower and get ready to head out. Hoping that, you know, the day doesn't end in a shit show. But, well, it's probably going to end in a shit show.